After a great night of racing on Tuesday evening, we return back tonight to the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway on iRacing as we get you ready for round number 6 of the Wilder Graphix Cup Series here for the Light Speed Racing League from the virtual fastest half mile in the world. Bristol Motor Speedway, I am the captain, Chris Scallad. Tonight, a special guest in the evening that is going to be joining me when we do these races here that, well, technically the race was ran on Wednesday, but we're live with you right now, and we're ready to have some fun here tonight. And tonight I get to be joined by the driver of the number 75, one of the coolest paint schemes in all of the league, the Wilder Graphix Toyota Camry, and that is Landon Quisenberry, who is a young man who, much like me, at his age, wanted to be a professional broadcaster and stuff, and the idea was brought up, hey, let's bring this young man up here and let him enjoy himself on a Saturday evening. And Landon, we're going to let you get up here and have some fun, man. And, well, first off, how you feeling?
A little bit nervous. It's been a little bit since I've been in the booth for anything, you know, whether my own self-benefit or for the league, but I'm glad to be a part of it, glad to be up here and broadcasting with you. I know it's your show, so I don't want to take all the spotlight, obviously, but you know, just thanks to Anthony for pitching this idea anyways, and glad to have the opportunity.
This show is never mine. It's the people's. It's yours. It's the viewers and stuff. Whatever you want to do, you have some fun with it tonight, man. I've done my part on the streaming. I've done my part in broadcasting and stuff, and we want you to have a good time here tonight, man. We appreciate you joining us, and talk about Bristol a little bit, man. This half-mile track, it's a tricky one, and here you are in the next-gen cars, and what do we expect this evening?
Yeah, I think it was said best when it was described as trying to fly fighter jets in a gymnasium. It's short, but it's fast. It races like a short track, but it has, you know, the speeds of a speedway. But it's not like Richmond in a way. It still has that short track feel to it. And you know, the first time I came here, it was, you know, very nerve-wracking. You know, kind of scared to get around cars and race with them. But as soon as that first race happened, and you know, got to drop those type of nerves, I mean, wow, it's just such a fun track. And you have to have a warrior mindset too. You're gonna get hit, and there are times that you're gonna get damage, and you just have to battle back through it. Last season, I had a car that, you know, got loose and got into me, and we both spun. I hit the inside wall, saved me, hit the right front of the car on the inside wall, so it didn't damage the engine. Had about 2 minutes of repairs and battle back and still finished third. So anything's possible at this track.
It is possible, and tonight in these next-gen cars, we are doing something that, well, I've never seen before with these cars, and we're running speeds of, I mean, we're hitting that ludicrous speed mark tonight. Cameron Hearn goes out here and to put a cap on that pole award with a 14 flat, basically. I mean, the last time I saw a 13-second lap around this track, it was in sprint cars back in the 2000s when they ran this track, and of course they did earlier this season. But these 14 flats, that is a fast lap from Cameron, so congratulations to him on winning the put a cap on that pole award this evening in this race. But getting ready to start this heat race. Now, Landon, you're going to start in the 5th position here as we show the starting lineup. Cameron Hearn and brother Aaron, who's watching on the stream, I believe, tonight, he starts 2nd. Justin Wilson, Ira Kohlhaas, row 2. There's Landon, row 3, alongside Adam Brady, Dale Lee, Cade Ferguson. Kind of a small grid, unfortunately, tonight. Keith Bouchard and Chase Berry, but still don't mean that we're not going to have ourselves a fun race this evening. 9 laps, that is it around this very, very fast track. But, I mean, Landon, what are we going to see here in this race?
Well, I mean, it's the sprint race, so about anything that can happen. We saw it on Tuesday night. I mean, the leaders came crashing to the start-finish line in, you know, typical Cameron Hearn fashion, just trying to put on a show. So I think it'll be very interesting, and they're going to go for it. Everyone's going to go for it, and that's what the sprint race is for, to get the nerves out and to, you know, put yourself in a better position if you're starting in the back.
As you see the cars roll off as they are rolling towards the green flag here. Not sure why that showed my screen, but we're going to work on that here, and just give me a second, and we're going to get that off the screen. There we go. So we saw already Justin Wilson on the back bumper of Cameron Hearn. We talked about that race on Tuesday where Cameron tried a Larson move apparently on the high side of 3 and 4 and took Justin with him. But needless to say, these cars, I don't know if we've seen the final product yet on iRacing, and I think there's a lot of updating yet to go with these things. But what are your thoughts on them so far?
They've been a mixed bag, but honestly, I think every result you get out of them is something fun and something different. You know, at Dover, these things were, you know, had the grace of about a cow on ice. I mean, it was super slick and very hard to drive, and then, you know, it's kept difficult tracks like, you know, Dover and Darlington difficult. Well, in Dover's case, made it more difficult, and it's made other tracks that are easier, such as Michigan. I mean, Michigan was a blast. That was probably the best race, one of the best races I've ever been a part of, so... it's been a mixed bag, but a lot of fun, too. So I think we'll see the same thing tonight.
All right, here we go. 9 laps, or roughly 3.5 minutes of green flag racing. Here we go. The Hearn brothers up at the front of the grid. Remember, 5-gear sequential, easy for me to say, shifting. And so much more. And there goes Coas into the wall.
Yeah, these things are very loose since the update that they had that kind of kept us from racing on Wednesday night last week. So... they're very icy on newer tires. That's kind of be expected. These things are a little bit looser on the exit, but right now there's, you know, Landon Quisberry, the 75, up in the 5th position with his teammate Cade Ferguson behind him, obviously trying to chase down Justin Wilson and Adam Brady.
You see the 91 of Aaron Hearn just kind of running that bottom side. Oh boy, he gone into the wall. He goes. Now the progressive banking here is the real tricky part because, you know, these cars come off, and especially if they're tight middle, it snaps them around.
Yeah, you have to be very precious on the gas, especially if you run the bottom. It gets very loose depending on the angle you come up off the bottom. But we'll see if that's going to be the preferred lane. It kind of came in as one of the better lanes on Tuesday night, as obviously we know Bristol more for the top, but we'll see as the run progresses on what lane is going to be better.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's not something you see every day. Both Cameron Hearn and Justin Wilson making a mistake. That's the beauty of these next-gen cars. It kind of keeps their own feed. Oh.
Big Blue with a big hit to the inside, or Go Blue, I guess that would be the Michigan car. Wilson wrecking, and I'm seeing a lot of wheel spin off these corners, and I don't know if that's the horsepower in these cars or what the deal is. I mean, they're screaming down the straightaways.
Yeah, super loose, and a lot of
oh, there goes the cone.
These things. Yeah, check out the cone right there. It's a good 3-car battle for the win right now, coming to 1 to go.
Yep, final lap just like that. I said 3.5 minutes. You thought I was lying. As Cameron Hearn rolling the high side, Adam Brady on the inside. There's Landon in 3rd. Landon, the Daytona winner.
They're all just running the Larson line now.
Oh! And shades of the Xfinity race last night as Hearn wins it.
Yeah, it's almost like they foreshadowed it. I mean, wow, what a good finish. Obviously, Landon would have liked to capitalize on that and hoped it happened, you know, maybe a few feet before the start-finish line, but if that's what's to come, it's going to be a pretty fun and exciting race.
That was really exciting. There's the fireworks going off from the Titantron thingy there. But they will start how they finished that race for 187 laps that they will run here in the main event this evening. So you'll see the starting lineup over there on the left-hand side. Landon obviously ran in that race. What'd you learn?
Cars are pretty icy on new tires, just like in the Xfinity cars, but if you run the bottom lane, it's still there. It feels like the bottom actually has a lot more speed than it did in previous updates, whether it was with the new build or just in general with these cars. Mm-hmm. But I think we'll see a lot more people running the bottom tonight, and if anything, it's going to be wild when you see guys like Cameron Hearn and Justin Wilson who don't make mistakes making mistakes because of these new cars. It opens up some windows for things, and it's, you know, going to be interesting too. This is Cameron's first race in the next gen cars. I got to talk to him before the race. He had never touched the next gens before. He bought them right before the race and started running them, and as fun as they are, they're still a lot different than those current Cup cars. So we'll see if maybe he can knock off a first win in his first start with the next gen cars.
Did it feel kind of awkward giving him advice?
He didn't really ask for it. He kind of just went in and figured it out himself. I wish I could have gave him advice, but I can kind of hold that over him for right now. We'll see how the race finishes, but technically I have more next gen wins than Cameron Hearn, so that clearly means I'm better.
Ooh, I like it. And a little zinger there at the same time. But as they finish that heat race, that is how they start. I've been calling the heat races kind of like a virtual pit party, if you will. Because it's kind of like you come off pit road, you run 8-9 laps really quickly of like a quick pit party, and here you are getting ready to start the race. 187 laps this evening, which is going to go real quickly. I say stages. Competition cautions coming at lap 30 and 60. And at that point, we will see last week's winner go to the back, and we'll make that very fun. But here we go. Pace car is in, and Cameron Hurd late to the pedal as we go green.
Yeah, a little bit of an issue there on the start. iRacing had a glitch, and they put the 91 a lap down on the start, so they tried to wave around the pace car with one to go, so that really checked up the guys back in second and third.
You see Quisenberry up to second. That's why you see Aaron Hearn already a lap down, kind of like everybody got ahead. He's giving everybody a one-lap head start, we'll call it.
Pretty much. Aaron's been pretty fast. We'll see if he can, play spoiler. He only has one iRacing win to his name, and that was an Xfinity race for this league a few seasons ago at Dover. Ended up beating me for that, but we'll see if he can knock off that second win tonight. As we ride on board with Justin Wilson running fourth, obviously the fifth car in line there with the 91 being involved in this league pack.
He mentioned 91 there, Quisenberry running that bottom. You said that that bottom line appeared to have a little more speed than usual with this newer build, and I think we're kind of seeing that in real life too tonight, or the last couple nights, with that bottom line actually coming to work.
As we see, Quisenberry's got some speed. He's right up on the back bumper of Cameron Hearn, which you don't see every week. So we'll see if he can take advantage of being up there right now. He's going for it.
Now, did you do any tricks on him to tell him that like fifth gear is like it doesn't work?
No. Typically, people forget it's even there. Anthony's done it a bunch. I haven't done it yet, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm putting up a good fight on the bottom right now.
Yeah, you are. And that two Camrys up there in the front. You got the Ford on the bottom and the Camaro on the outside there. The 91 of there's Ira Kohlhaas there in the 29. He hit pretty hard there. He said, "Oh, net code 77's in the wall."
That's going to involve Justin Wilson. Oh, Ferguson gets a piece of it.
All right, time to say who's not in it. Big wreck here. Lap number 7. Really quickly, we're rolling that beautiful bean footage and a caution out. Get replays pulled up here. Let's see what happens. Look like Adam Brady's some net code, it looked like, from what I saw there.
Yeah, from what I can remember being in that channel, that was discussed as net code. I mean, Aaron got a little bit loose, but that contact wouldn't have been there if it weren't for the net code. And obviously there's going to be some problems like that. These cars are symmetrical, so there's more to that right rear than there usually is with the normal cars that NASCAR runs. So iRacing trying to, maybe compensate for that, and there's just a little net code contact and sent both of them around. Unfortunate for both of them and for Justin Wilson, the other guys that got involved. I mean, that's already half the field with damage.
Unfortunately, yes, it is. But here's some good news. Watch this replay of the Ira Kohlhaas. Everybody knows wreck avoidance at Bristol is almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, a lot more luck than skill. I mean,
Pardon me. Coming through.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, he turns Justin accidentally, but he gets through.
You gotta do that sometimes. I'm pretty sure the 75 running second did that at Daytona in the sprint race in the Xfinity series.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta drive through them.
That's a good point. I just thought about that. Good callback on that one. But that's the first caution of the race here on lap number 8. As everybody catches the pace car. This gives me an opportunity really quickly to do something. As this is called stalling in broadcasting, in case you've never heard that term before. This is where I go look for something. I just talk randomly about something and mention that, yeah, by the way, Sim Speed Shops. They specialize in custom sim racing hardware. Sim Speed Shops manufacture sim racing hardware utilizing the best components available, as well as mixing in real-life racing components when available. Customize your hardware and rig today. SimSpeedShop.com. They are the sponsor of the first lap of the race. Well, when you're going like 14 seconds around this track, it could be easily, unfortunately, missed there. But wanted to give them their shout out there. SimSpeedShop.com. Make sure you check them out today. It's so weird watching these cars on Bristol. Like, to me, I'm getting used to seeing them and seeing the different lanes they're running. And of course, I'm one that likes to run a higher steering ratio at this track. And with these rack and pinion steering and the gears and stuff like that in there, it's like you can't touch it pretty much.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest challenges because I don't usually touch it a lot, and everyone tells me that I need to, but the way they present it on how you can change it, because you can change it, I just don't understand it, so I just don't mess with it. I just go with what they give me.
Right, I know what 16-to-1 looks like. I don't know what like percentage and stuff like that or whatever they use for their numbers and things like that. I'm like, man, I'm used to the whole 16-to-1 thing. Give me that. But Cade Ferguson, the Michigan car, that's a modified. That thing's on pit road. Justin Wilson getting his car worked on to 58. And you mentioned these cars. You mentioned a little bit what iRacing is doing and stuff. See, NASCAR's trying to get rid of the whole crab walking, as they call it, down the straightaways. You see it a lot in the ARCA cars, the trucks on the super speedways and stuff like that. They're trying to balance out the car to where it looks like a normal car going down the road. And that's where you see these Camrys that look like they do. The Mustangs look like an actual Mustang. The Camaro looks like an actual Camaro. And I think they're answering the challenge of making these cars look realistic.
That, and it also fixes some of the problems. It gears it towards more where NASCAR wants to go, and that's back to short track and road course racing, especially the road course racing. They made it to where road courses take up a sixth of the schedule, and with a non-symmetric body that's more geared towards turning left, the car doesn't want to turn right.
Right.
So it tries to fix a challenge with that, and hopefully it does. We'll get to see how that plays out in the Roval later on this season. But it's they're fun, and with the composite bodies too as well. That's geared towards short track racing, so they can take a beating. Obviously, a few cars missing their front bumpers, so we'll see how much of a beating they can take. But be interesting to see how competitive those cars are when we get the green flag here.
Yep, we'll go back green here at lap number 13 as Quisenberry runs up there on the high side, trying to get the run on camera. But for a second straight restart, he brings him down slow and gets a pretty good jump down to turn one. Barry, a little bit of a blink there on the inside. You got the 40 and a modified up top. A couple modifieds up there, as a matter of fact.
And Landon's got a good run out on the outside, and he's going to clear him. It's the new leader, Landon Quisenberry, here at Bristol.
A little bit gainsmanship there on the 15 as he leads another lap. The winner of Daytona earlier this season, and what was his first win outside of Michigan.
Yeah, big win for him at that, to get a little bit of a confidence booster, as now he's caught one of the best drivers in the league challenging him at his back bumper. And the challenge of the next-gen cars showed, because Cameron forgot that there was a fifth gear on that restart, which is part of the reason why the 75 took the lead.
There's where Landon gains the advantage of this, because he did not tell him there's a fifth gear, so it works out well here.
As we'll see, is Cameron's going to put the pressure.
Have Cameron all over that back bumper. Just watching Kohlhaas and Wilson there. They're separated by about 0.2. Dale Lee, Aaron Hearn, Cade Ferguson back there in the modified battle, about 0.3 apart themselves. So there's going to be a competition caution coming up here in about 12 laps or so. And Landon going to try to lead him to that caution.
And we'll see if he can win himself a stage here. At least to the comp caution, as they call it. But
that was one thing. Go ahead.
I was just saying, Cameron's putting a lot of pressure on him. He's holding up well. Obviously, this is something Cameron likes to do, though. He likes to kind of just play around with people, even if he's faster. So we'll see if he'll end up making quick work of him once he does get that position, or if he's just going to keep on running behind him.
And you guys have pulled away to about a 1.3 second lead over Wilson, who has gotten that damage fixed on that car. And doing a pretty good job so far, running up in a third position. Cameron gets the run to the high side here, and I think you just kind of move over and you're like, well, go on by. But he's having a hard time getting by there.
Yeah, I got a little bit loose on that high side, just how these cars are, and Cameron's gonna get in the wall. She's gonna give the advantage to the 75. Oh, I didn't quite clear him though.
Did you want to slide job him there?
I wanted to. I kind of regretted not sliding up, but I just wasn't clear.
There you go. He falls from behind you. Oh, he crossed you over, actually. So great move there by Cameron. He's going to take the lead that lap. Yeah, Cameron's a very talented young man there. I've watched him race in other leagues, and that dude knows how to get it when he needs to.
Yeah, I mean, he's almost unstoppable. I mean, he's even good at his burnouts. I mean, he just drifts around the track half the time he wins the race and doesn't hit anything. It's pretty crazy when you just take a look at what he can do.
So Hearn leads, and you got Quisenberry second. Wilson has come back up to the third position here in the 58 car, and that car looks pristine, actually. That Wilder Graphix number 58 is Cameron about heads it for Knoxville.
Yeah, you got real loose on the exit, just how challenging these cars are, and that it hurts you even worse when you get loose because these are more just momentum-based cars.
Right.
You lose the momentum, and you're almost a sitting duck to the car behind you. Because you see that bottom kind of coming in for Wilson. He looks a lot faster than the leaders right now running that bottom lane.
I was really surprised Tuesday night when Dylan was running that bottom line. I was like, man, he's making that line look good. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was more towards the driver that was running it instead of the lane, but I just think the lane is improved greatly.
Right.
And starting to bring in some of that old Bristol and new Bristol combo. It's a multi-groove racetrack, which I think is, put on some great racing. It's good to see everyone be able to put themselves in whatever lane they think is best and run.
Now, fans, I want to throw out a little disclaimer here. Landon was hardly born any time that the old Bristol was alive. So when you bring up the Earnhardt-Labonte moves back in the 90s and Earnhardt, or the the Gordon, is the comp cautions out right here, I believe. The Gordon Rusty Wallace 01 race, he wasn't around for those.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know what Old Bristol's supposed to be, but I haven't seen Old Bristol in its actual glory live, at least. I could always go back and watch him, but...
We got to show him some YouTube videos, folks. We got to show him some YouTube video stuff. All right, we're going to step away for a quick second here and cover some sponsors and stuff, but as you're watching the Lightspeed Racing League and the Wilder Graphix Cup Series here from the Bristol Motors Speedway virtually here on the Captain Esports Network. Stick around, and we'll be right back.
Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at www.thebuttkicker.com and be sure to use promo code LSRL for 20% off.
All right, back we are at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway, about to go back to racing here after the first competition caution. You see the pace car pulling off as Landon Quisenberry leads them to the green, and with Cameron Hearn, Ira Kohlhaas, Aaron Hearn, Dale Lee, Justin Wilson, Cade Ferguson, your 7 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, as Cameron just made that look easy getting by the 75 there. Now Landon's got a whole lot of Ira Kohlhaas to his outside.
A whole lot of Pepsi there on that outside.
Yeah, he's just going to end up letting him by there.
Yeah, move Ira up to the 2nd position, Quisenberry to 3rd. We'll have another stage or comp caution, we'll call it, at lap 65 here. But so far here, fastest lap around this track, 14:21. I don't know average speeds that well, but I know that's over 130 miles an hour.
Yeah, pretty fast, and he doesn't feel like he slowed down much in the corners with the lowered horsepower at all. So very fast, very challenging as to see on board with Ira just how fast it looks when you're going through these corners. I mean, you'll see he'll barely let off here and just kind of gas it back up here on the exit.
Yeah, and these are the 750 horsepower right now, I believe, in these cars. Eventually, when they announce the actual horsepower, which is rumored to be 610, then at that point, you'll see probably some slower speeds. But right now, they are just hauling all kinds of mail around here.
And in both lanes, too. That's the best part, I think, so far, is that everyone's been able to search for a lane. As you see, Cam's going back to the bottom, Ira's on top, I'm running the top. Justin's probably back there, back on the bottom, so it opens up a whole lot of options to pass.
The different grooves of Bristol, basically, here, and that's where you talked about a little bit of an old-school feel. Oh, Cameron ran a 14:13 last time by, so we're getting our way down to the 13s here in a second.
Yeah, Cam's quick. If he can break into that time gap, I think he will. But
I mean, easily seeing speeds of 150 miles an hour down the straightaways, probably down to about 120 mid-corner. A lot of weight, a lot of compression on the shocks and stuff like that. So that's something. I mean, I remember when I first ran this car, I ran it at Dover. And at that time, we were running like 21-second laps around Dover. And I'm just like, this is too fast.
Yeah, you almost wanted to slow down a little bit. Even if they had the lower horsepower,
right?
They still feel fast.
I mean, I felt like I was, I think I saw at one point in that race, I hit 190 mile an hour. And I'm like, I don't think we're supposed to go this fast here.
No, not at all. As Cameron continues to kind of put on a masterclass so far at Bristol in his first start in the next-gen cars.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good here. Aaron Hearn, left side damage on that 91, looking to battle with the 58 of Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson won the last race in this series with the Cup cars at Darlington. So he'll be looking to go back-to-back, as obviously we didn't run Richmond due to the new build having some issues.
Yeah, he had an interesting week at Darlington. He got passed late in the race at, I thought we were going to have another 2003 Craven Busch race. But in the end, it turned into a Dylan Reed lead. But he ended up going and getting that win and taking the victory in that Darlington Cup race. You see Kohlhaas has caught the back bumper up ahead there, but the one thing I'm listening to is how much throttle time Hearn is on the pedal here, riding in 5th.
Yeah, Aaron is a wheel man. He's usually pretty good at qualifying. That's his strength. He's really good at fast laps. It's just putting the whole race pace together. But I think right now he's still looking pretty good. I mean, he's catching these guys up in front of him, as that 75 car seems to be fading a little bit with Wilson underneath him. And then you can see, but Ira took the lead.
He did. Ira Kohlhaas to the front, so he has worked his way through. He missed that wreck, kind of. Oh, he got a little bobble there. Looked like it almost looked like he bottomed out, but I know that wasn't the case. But battle here between purple cars. Wilson and Quisenberry for 3rd. He wasn't clear. He almost tried to slide up there.
Yeah, that outside momentum is very sneaky, as it's 2 purple Wilder Graphix cars battling for 3rd.
Anthony does a great job with his company there, putting those paints together and stuff. And I have a strange feeling I'm going to be talking to him about a paint here very soon.
Pretty good. You can ask me for one, too. I'm the one that painted my car.
Oh, well, maybe I'll be talking to you then.
Well, I think Anthony does a better job, but for my own cars, I can help him out with some of this stuff, so I do need to get on that eventually. But yeah, Anthony does a great job, and he runs a good brand. So if you're looking for a painter, Wilder Graphics is the way to go.
I think that's a pretty good segue to what I was about to say, because they do provide the best iRacing paints and liveries around. Check them out today on Facebook and take a ride on the Wild side, or the Landon side, I guess we'll call it here. Wilder Graphics, of course, on the 58, the 75, and when Anthony's here, the 17. Keith Bouchard on pit road. Go ahead.
I was going to hand in the 5 of Joseph Murata.
Oh, yeah,
missed out on
Joey,
this race because of his wheel. Went to get that fixed. As we're closing in on the end of the stage, as there's a battle for 4th between 2 good friends of Landon Quizmare and Aaron Hearn.
We got battles everywhere here. Battles for the lead, battle for 2nd, battle for 3rd. One thing also about these next-gen cars, the tire fall-off doesn't seem to be there a lot.
No, it's interesting too because they don't fall off that much, but if you short pit someone, you gain a ton of time. That happened at Dover. That's how Dylan and Ira, they had huge gaps between themselves, is because of how much they short pitted each other. So it's very interesting. It's almost kind of a smoke screen for everybody else, because you short pit, but you don't feel like the fall off is there.
Interesting. Cameron Hearn just heard him shifting in that corner last time by. Let's see if he does it again here. Oh, I may have jumped out of the car, but he goes up there, does a little 50-50 rail slide on the wall, and 60 throw. Hold on, Cameron.
Yeah, I think Cam's having a little bit of fun.
That's Cam being Cam. But the fight here for the lead of this race here as they come to the end of the stage here. I think that's the final lap this time by.
Should be next lap.
Okay.
The end of 65.
Ira's
doing a good job. I mean, it's gonna be hard to hold off Justin, especially with Justin in that lane on the bottom. But we'll see. Ira's got the top working pretty good. As long as he can get the momentum off, he should win the drag race back to the line.
Yeah, you see a little bit of I see a little bit of splitter damage on that 58, so that's probably not helping a little bit. There's Kohlhaas crossing the line. Should get the caution here. And just looking up at the fence to see the other. There's the yellow lights. So caution is out for the 2nd time. As my crew finally returns back after the IndyCar race. It took you guys so long on the stream.
Yeah, we're a little bit late on that caution. Obviously Anthony not here tonight. We were short on admin, so yeah, me and Adam got promoted to admins, which is kind of what we expected our job. But
well, look out, everybody! Hey, pace cars in 3, boys. Pace cars in 3. Hey,
these next-gen cars, they're a little bit hard to break.
Now, one thing we don't get a chance to see often in a live race is pit stops with a pit crew. I'm gonna turn to your car here for a second, since this is your video. And I want to see if you have your pit crew. I'm trying to remember if they get them for the next-gen car here. And we do not. So, there's disappointment. But either way here, great run for so far. You see the tires are off, right back on with the 1 lug nut. That's going to be an interesting change next season. The fastest chicken pit crew in the South.
So we'll see. Ended up getting some damage, maybe. I don't remember why I said in. Yeah, that was what it was. Damage on the 75. It was like a 12-second repair. Just sat in and got it. So we'll restart 3rd.
It's all good, Mikey. It's all good. Take care of the wife. So, here we go. 65 laps in, and that is the 2nd competition caution of this race. They do 2, and this is more. When I talked to Anthony about it, I had to try to understand it for a second, and once he explained it, I was like, it makes sense. And I can't say I'm opposed to it, because you do get these races that, if you get a small field like this, I mean, people will run away with it. And this gives a chance to the drivers to kind of regroup and kind of have somewhat of a competitive chance.
Yeah, just, learn from what the first couple of segments went and then re-rack and go get it. And it's a good placement, too, because usually they try to put it within a point of the race to where you'll have to pit again at the end of the race.
And, of course, at this point with the, was it 80% fuel, I think it is, for these Cup cars, 70 laps in, you'll have to make one more pit stop to get to the finish. And I think we're going to see a pretty wild race here going to the finish there, as we got a really good quick 30-lap run there. But Wilson's going to lead Quisenberry, and Dale Lee holding on there in that modified in third. Aaron Hearn, Cole Haas, Ferguson, and then I'm guessing Cameron wants to give himself an EOL here.
That or he might have just disconnected
Oh,
at
never
this
mind.
point.
We've lost Cameron. We have. He's 2 laps down now.
Yeah, I think he talked about it. He got a little bit of damage there from that little checkup that happened under caution, and then he had talked about before he was probably just going to go spend some time with family and with his kids before he put them to bed. Unfortunately, that's going to tuck away his chances at winning his first start in the next gen cars. He'll be saying goodnight to the win tonight.
I have a weird feeling that you're throwing a little sarcasm at that comment right there to him. Like, haha, I've got more wins, dig.
No, not at all. I do have more championships. No,
look out.
It's all good between. It's all fun. He's out there for fun, even though he wins all the time.
Rule number
we're
one.
all out there for the same thing.
Rule number 1, do not wake the sleeping dog, ever. That's like waking a sleeping baby. You'll learn that later in life. Here we go. Wilson going to lead him back to the green, lap number 71.
And speaking of sleeping, that's what the 75 was doing on that restart.
Oh, very.
Completely off guard by the 58 is. That's going to give Wilson a huge advantage.
Might or might not even hurt a snore. But anywho, Quisenberry about already 6/10 back as Justin's running away here.
And then Aaron's right there behind Landon. We'll see if Aaron's going to be able to challenge for that second spot. Aaron's looking pretty fast. And then Ira back and forth.
Yeah, the one thing I'm noticing here, Ira obviously already 2 seconds back, but kind of a rubber band type of a race. And what I mean by that is you're seeing the cars spread out, and then after about 10 to 15 laps, they're back together again.
Yeah, it's almost a change of pace. I think the guys that are pretty stout on the short run are right up there at the beginning, and then the ones as they start to fade away, those guys that are really good on the long run, like Ira, will come up there and start challenging them. So it's gonna be a wild race, and then especially coming up with another pit stop. It won't be for fuel though. It's more dependent.
So Wilson leads right now over. There you are. I lost you for a second there, buddy.
Yeah, I was wondering. I didn't see my light moving, but yeah, I was gonna say with tire strategy, that's gonna be huge. We saw that on Tuesday night play out between the Mohica guys and the 75. They pitted for tires. The guys that ended up winning the race did not. So we'll see if we'll see any of the same tonight. Well, Wednesday,
I know what you meant.
I
know what you meant. This race was ran on Wednesday. Oh, I see my camera broke there. We ran this race on Wednesday, and we're live right now broadcasting the race, Landon and I are, and this is going to be something we do a lot this season on Saturday nights, is covering the Cup Series, and this is all just part of the deal that we were able to work out, and I wanted to help Anthony as much as I could with the LSRL series, and of course with a lot of help from others, peoples whose name have slipped my mind. It's what happens when you get old, 1, and 2, you're tired. This happens to you. Harold is who I'm thinking about. Harold helps me out with getting us all set up, and we've had a lot of fun with this, but unfortunately I had already had a commitment on Wednesday nights and stuff, and that opened up the door to still be able to broadcast this thing, and even the opportunity for you to come up here. And I've enjoyed being around you. I know I threw you not under the bus, but I threw you on the spot a couple weeks ago when you had finished second to Ira, and I was like, hey, go talk to Ira in an interview, and you knocked it out of the park. And as soon as Anthony threw the idea to me, I was like, bring him up here, let's go. And I think you've done a fantastic job, man.
Thank you. I try to have fun. It's kind of funny because you talk to me outside of all this, and I'm kind of just calm and collected. You get me under the helmet, and I'm pretty much, the flames on the back of my car resemble how I am when I'm racing. And then in the booth, I are more joyful and excited. So I kind of, it's not the duality of me, because there's kind of 3 things. So I don't know. It's what would you call it? Maybe a triality. But it's a lot of fun.
Rule number 1 in the captain booth: captain's got to understand every word you say. You just said 2 words that I've never heard in my life.
It's all good. Try to expand my vocab for when I'm in the booth.
You definitely got me outrunning already. What was that? Triangular? What was that word?
I said triality.
Oh, and then what was the other one? Like dormant or dorant? What?
Duality. It's like I don't think you've ever heard the phrase like the duality of man. It was more the duality of me emotionally. It's kind of polar opposite.
Now this is why my wife tells me I need to read books right here. Anyways, Landon Quisenberry running second right now behind Justin. I won't even ask to spell those words. Cole Haas 1.4 seconds back. Just shows you how smart this young man is. He knows his sports and knows his racing, I should say. And he's up here running in the second position right now, about 7/10 back from Justin. We're already about to hit the halfway point in this race.
I'm doing a good job, and it's good to be right behind Justin this close. Usually he's about pulled away from me at this point, so I'm just kind of trying to follow him and learn his line and see if I can run it better than him. Obviously, not right now. They're not catching him.
Now, I know, Landon, you have a butt kicker. I have a butt kicker. Everybody's got a butt kicker, or they should at least, and you can check out their products as they are silent subwoofers that develop powerful and audible bass through your couch or your chair. You'll feel crashes, racing engines, and special effects in your movies and games and so much more. Use promo code LSRL for 20% off the Butt Kicker site at your purchase.
Yeah, they do great things over there at Butt Kicker, and it's been cool to get one. You get one for 100% off if you win a championship. But
wait, is that $3.99?
Yes. Just like to throw that in whenever I want to.
Did you win a championship?
Maybe.
Very humble of you. I actually got mine. I actually got mine in a another league I broadcast for, a fantasy racing league that they do for their own league.
Very cool. I mean, it's cool to give one out for the leagues to be able to give to people, whether it's champions or other stuff like that, giveaways. I think it's the best part of having sponsors is to help keep the league running. It's great to have those sponsors like Butt Kicker and Grid Finder and everyone else that supports the league.
And you hear their names everywhere. I mean, you hear them in multiple different leagues, and that's what it's all about. It's not like, and this is no dig to other sponsors, but you get people out there that, feel like they've done everything they can to promote themselves, so you don't see them on, different leagues or broadcasts and stuff. And then you get people like Grid Finder, Butt Kicker, and those guys that, I mean, as soon as you give them a call, it's like without even saying a word, yep, here's one for you, give this away. What? Aaron Hearn about 2.5 seconds back right now of Landon in the third position as he still sits about 0.8 of a second back. Ira Kohlhaas 2.3 back in third. Dale Lee up in the fifth position right now in the Smith & Wesson Modified. I call it a Modified because it has no nose.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a good job. Obviously, with the front end ripped off, it's look, you have to get used to it, Bristol, and it's a good one running fast. I mean, remember me at Michigan, I had one of these before one of the last cautions, and that car was terrible. It couldn't keep up with the pack, and then they, super glued it back on. Could use that Elmer's school glue before school started, and ended up finishing up in the top 5.
I do remember that car, and it literally looked like a kid pasted it on there.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest car, but it still got a top 5. It still got the job done.
All that matters. I wonder if Dale's out there running wide open right now with the downforce being gone.
Maybe. Could find out.
Very true. But we're going to step away quick second here as we take care of sponsors and stuff. We got 80 laps to go here in this Wilder Graphix Cup Series. Race number 6 here from the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway as you're watching the Lightspeed Racing League here on the Captain Esports Network.
Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at www.thebuttkicker.com and be sure to use promo code LSRL for 20% off.
All right, back we are with a little less than 70 laps to go here in this Wilder Graphix night race at the Bristol Motor Speedway, virtually on iRacing. Hopefully you're enjoying your Saturday night here, Wednesday night in the virtual world here from the Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm the captain, being joined by Landon Quisenberry tonight, who is going to join me for a lot of races here as we do some rebroadcasted races here for the Cup Series. This is all part of a deal with LSRL that we're honored to be a part of. I say we. Technically me, but Landon's we. So we're making it a two-man team here tonight as he is a part of us, and he's done a great job here tonight. As he's done a great job at his races, I believe he's just coming off pit road from green flag pit stops, a 15.3 second stop. Was your pit crew eating ice cream?
I honestly have no idea what they were doing, but it doesn't matter because I'm putting down fast laps now with those 4 fresh fuel goods. So as you see Aaron dipping off on pit road, this is the strategy that I played on Tuesday night, so it's going to be interesting to see if it works because it's way earlier in the run than what it was on Tuesday. And then Ira followed me. He didn't wait 10 laps to get that tire advantage on me, so it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
You see Aaron with his very professional pit crew there in suit and tie as they leave their pit stall at a 14.5, so good stop there. Justin Wilson still leads with Dale Lee now second. He was actually lapping Dale as we were in the middle of the break there, so you see where Dale is 1 lap down still. Landon 2 down, and Cole Haas and Hearn just waiting for these guys to come to pit road here. And
yeah, we'll see if Justin, here he comes.
He almost locked up
he's
the front.
now.
I saw the right front there, or left front lock up a little bit there.
Yeah, these things are very difficult under braking. I don't know if they just get heavy or if it's with the sequential gears that they have in it, but it feels a lot harder to get them slowed down, especially coming to pit road.
And Justin pulls into his pit stall, and 66 laps to go. Right side tires going on now. One thing we'll have to wait for the adjustment on iRacing. These cars have, as you see, only 1 lug nut. That's probably a big change. Now, a lot of people, especially in the industry, think that that's not going to really change anything because you're still going to have the same rules, but you're just changing 1 lug nut instead of 5. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to work because immediately when you think of 1 lug nut, as you see Landon going to jump him for the lead here, Ira going to go to second. The one thing you think about is IndyCar because they have a single lug nut, but in their case, they actually allow 4 pit crew members across the wall to change the tires at once.
Yeah, the pit stops are going to be interesting for next year because essentially they're going to be a little bit quicker with changing tires, and that's going to be interesting to see how that affects fuel because they might have to sit in the box a little bit longer just to make sure they get that full tank of gas in. Or it might not change at all just because of the amount of crew members that are over the wall, but we'll see how much that changes pit stops next season, and hopefully it eliminates that loose wheel problem that NASCAR does get from, very frequently from time to time.
Very frequently. It's like at least once a race. But there's Wilson back there battling. Dale Lee still leads. He's got to come to pit road still. We asked the question, is Dale running wide open? Let's listen. No. Matter of fact, off the throttle a lot there. So he must be having a push condition there in that car because, well, I mean, his downforce numbers are pretty atrocious probably right now in that 40 car.
Yeah, it's probably plowing pretty bad with just the airflow on it.
I mean, at least he's got a clean grill.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to worry too much about trash on the grill, and if he does, he might just have to rough someone up instead of it just blowing off pretty easily.
Problem is then the radiator's at a vulnerable level there. But, man, the battle here for a second. Wilson all over the back bumper review here. And one other cool feature about this car is he gets your high side here is the diffuser that's on the back of the car.
Yeah, which is used to eliminate dirty air, so it helps kind of, pull up to the car from behind you without having that beach ball, as they call it, with the current cup cars.
The old balloon. And also another factor in that will be if they do decide to run races in the rain like they tried to do at COTA this season, that diffuser will actually get the water out different ways so it doesn't cause the huge spray that it had.
Yeah, the rooster tails should eliminate that completely. Well, not completely, it'll still be there, but it'll help get rid of some of that. Which is actually interesting because F1's doing the same thing with their new car. It's almost like they're kind of taking, the same technology, or at least the same research that NASCAR did with eliminating dirty air. So. Well,
at the same time, too, I think as Wilson goes to the lead here, I think Dale's on pit road. But the one other thing that I think F1, I go back to that Belgium race a couple weeks ago. I'm not one that watches F1. I really don't have the time to watch it and stuff. But the one thing I took from talking about that Belgium race is how they stopped the race. You rarely see F1 stop the race, and I couldn't help but think if F1 stopped that race because of what they saw NASCAR go through at COTA.
And I mean, just when they ran those pace laps behind the safety car, that no one could see back there at all. So it's gonna be interesting, and something we might even see on iRacing here in a little bit, because they are working on getting rain racing and iRacing. So there could be potential to maybe see a rain road course race here in the future for a lot of series coming up, which I think will be a lot of fun for everybody involved.
Which is funny you say that. I host a podcast with another guy in another league during the week, and we actually talked about, could it be possible with the random weather you see in these races on ovals that we could see cautions come out for rain?
That would be very interesting. The only challenge is I don't think any driver would want to sit in a delay due to rain, or even have a race called for rain.
Right.
But it adds a more real element to it, so I think I'd like it more. Might play strategy if I know when the rain's coming, and just maybe trying to think of the best way. But, pull a Justin Haley from 2 years ago at Daytona.
Daytona, yeah. That one of the bigger upsets in NASCAR history there, and. But who's going to be the guy that comes out with the weather app? There's going to be somebody that comes out with like a weather app that you use for iRacing.
I don't know, but if rain becomes that much of a factor in all the races, I might have to look into getting that, just because I'm not usually the type to kind of pull in different apps to pull up stats. Right. I mean, I've talked about it before. I do not like seeing the relative time. I think it makes me make more mistakes if I'm seeing someone constantly gain on me. So I only go by the time at the lines in terms of whether I lost or gained.
And that makes sense. But at the same time, I think when you look at when you're out there on the track, it's like one thing I've taught myself to do, and it goes back to the whole when they're out there running a super speedway or something like that, they're always up in the mirror, especially on the straightaways. I never look at my relative in the corner. Like, I wait till I'm on a straightaway or something, and I'll peek over to it real quick to make sure, like, if I've gained or lost any time or whatever. And I think a lot of people make that mistake because then they start driving out of their mirror, and all of a sudden they run into the wall.
Yeah, it almost causes more mistakes. It's like what NASCAR drivers have told before about, they've had their, spotters or crew chiefs kind of tell the distance, and sometimes they just don't tell their drivers because they don't want their drivers to force themselves into a mistake.
Right.
As the battle for seconds kind of heating up as Justin's pulling away, Ira's starting to run down that 75 car.
42 laps to go. Lap time still in the 14-second range.
Yeah, and honestly, a good call by Justin to stay out. I think as soon as he got around that 75, he kind of put himself in the catbird seat for this win, because, he's already had the fresher tires out of the guys that pitted, and on top of that, I know the driver of that 75 has a tendency to lean on the right front very hard throughout the run, so he wears his stuff out pretty badly if he doesn't try and fix it. So he's put himself in a really good spot to try and run away with it. Unless they pit again, which that would be interesting to see if maybe they can try and pull him back on tires one more time, but we don't know if that's going to force him to pit as well.
Now, one thing that I've enjoyed about this track, and before, let me just share this. I just Kyle Pettied that. Anyways, I was really bad at Bristol when I first got on iRacing. Now, I say that, I used to run really well at Bristol on console games. And I got here, and I was like, man, I'm bad here. And then something happened, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but I started moving my my steering ratio to 16:1. And I would run like NIS races and stuff, and people would blow my doors off on the beginning of a run. And all of a sudden, 40, 50 laps in, here I come blowing right back past them, running a certain groove around this track. And you reminded me of that when you say you wear your right front out.
Yeah, I've been told many times by people that are, been on iRacing longer than me that you want to put that steering ratio way up there so it helps with the long run. And kind of learned. Yeah, you're gonna get that. It's almost as common as Darlington when you put a stripe up there on the wall here at Bristol.
Well, the thing about it is the high bank tracks especially are my kind of cup of tea when it comes to throwing the steering ratio up there, because it seems like where I can kind of find a room to slow down a little bit more through corner and not carry the mid-corner speed to wear out the right front tires so that I'm faster in a later run. And you'll get drivers like that. You get drivers like yourself that go hard, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever you're comfortable with, you guys are going to play splitsies here with a Michigan car.
Ooh, yeah, that was a little bit of that was more of the 75. That's teammates. That was unfortunate for Ira that, he caught the 75 caught his teammate and told him to go low, and that's where Ira was. So
wait a minute, I think Landon just admitted out loud on the stream, guys, that he purposely had his teammate block.
It wasn't a block. I just wanted my preferred lane, and I didn't. Unfortunately, Ira was also in the same lane, but obviously Ira's faster, so we'll see if he should just be able to get around me. It's going to be a good battle though, because he's been faster, but it just seems like that high side is hard to beat on this longer run because you just don't have the drive off on the tires anymore.
Mm-hmm. You're actually running more of the groove on this part of the run than I like to run. You start middle, slide it up the track, and then you kind of bring it back to the middle coming off. That was the lane that I was kind of showed around here. Now, Ira's running a even higher groove. By doing that, you almost put yourself in danger to go up and hit that wall if you missed a corner. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, he got so close right there, but he's going to get such a good run on the exit.
He got a good run. See if he tries a slider here.
That set him up pretty good for 1 and 2. Not quite going to get there on the exit though. That high side is just so hard to beat. You're going to have to be really consistent on the bottom to beat someone that's on the high side here at Bristol in the long run.
Which is funny because there's been some league races I've run in the past where we'll go out there, me and the team I would race for and stuff, we would actually purposely go down there and run the bottom the whole entire time. We weren't running to go fast. We just went out and just ran laps on the bottom. And we did that to rubber it up because before we had actually had a tire on iRacing that liked rubber. So put rubber down on it and you could get it to work on the long run.
Yeah, obviously not so much now. I think the
not
iRacing
anymore.
build that not the iRacing build that I got accustomed to that I had started on, not the case.
So these guys are about a trip to Knoxville back from Justin Wilson. Some might say Dollywood even. But now Wilson winning last week at Richmond, as you mentioned. Or, I'm sorry, Darlington. Richmond we didn't run because of the build that came out. And now, if I'm trying to remember, did you guys say you were going to move Richmond to the end?
Yes, that will be moved to the finale, so it'll be a week after, so it keeps everything on schedule on the same track.
So we'll go Phoenix and then Richmond to finish out the season. But next week, I'll have to look. Is it Kansas? I'm trying to remember.
No, we'll be taking a gamble. It'll be Las Vegas.
Ah, yes. Viva Las Vegas. So these cars are going to be pretty much wide open around that track. That should be fun. One of the rare tracks that still has all the grip that it has in it, but yet it does eat up the tires, much like the Heart Attack Burger there in downtown Vegas.
Yeah, we'll see. Vegas will be fun, and I've been excited to go back. Obviously, That's a track we did run last season, and I found some speed in the Xfinity cars, and obviously with these cars, it's just going to be fun to figure out how they are. And that'll be the first real mile-and-a-half race with the next-gen cars that this series has run, because they kept it different so far. I mean, we've had Dover, we had Darlington, you know, which really isn't typical. Darlington is not your typical mile-and-a-half at all.
So let me ask you a question on this, because it's something I'm reading a lot on social media. Hearing a lot that people think that the Xfinity car should be the style of car that the Cup Series is running. How do you feel on that?
I think Xfinity, I think right now is probably the best form of racing that NASCAR has. It's just their lower division. And part of that could be because it's you know, more younger talent. They're not quite as used to race cars as say those Cup guys are. But I think the car is superior, and I think that NASCAR, at least with the next gen, is done a good job, because I think they've taken some things from Xfinity and put them on there. I mean, the cars are, you know, they're going the composite bodies, which Xfinity has, and they're just trying to see what will probably race better. Because I mean, look at the Xfinity cars. They're one of the hardest cars to drive.
Right.
They're super loose. They have a lot of horsepower, and they have super low downforce. So we'll see. We'll see what the next gen does with the racing. But right now, I think I do agree that the Xfinity cars are the premier car for NASCAR, but it's just not the premier series. And
I think, you know, you mentioned the low the downforce and stuff. It's the exact opposite of a Cup car or even a truck. I mean, a truck is let me back it up. A Cup car is more of a truck on steroids. Basically is what the Cup car is. And then, you know, you look at the Xfinity car, it's its own thing. I mean, you have to back up the corners and be careful on throttle going off, because, I mean, you could spin out the car. And where these Cup cars and trucks, I mean, you're pretty much wide open coming off the corner, because, I mean, there's so much downforce on them. But let's go to the race here for a second, because Quisenberry and Kohlhaas are going at it here for the second position. You guys have been going at it for about 10 laps or so at least here. Going at it so much that Dale Lee's joined the battle, even though he's 3 laps down.
I mean, these guys have been at it for, you know, since about 30 to go. It's just the closer Ivory gets, he just can't quite make it, you know, stick on the bottom enough to get that run off to clear him. We'll see. I mean, it's going to get more interesting. As the laps wind down, the bumpers are probably going to start to get used.
Why not put the Pepsi horn to the back of the Wilder Graphix car now? He's getting closer. You kind of scraped the wall there, but here he gets to run. And the one thing I'm noticing is he's driving it still pretty deep into the corner. Even though he's trying to run that bottom lane, and I think that's key. I think in order to run the bottom at Bristol, you really have to back the corner up and let it roll the bottom, or else you're going to push up the track, which then you're not able to carry the speed off, which allows that car on the high side to get the run.
Yeah, especially with a car like these that are momentum-based. He has to find a way to keep the momentum on the exit to not only make that move to the bottom. There's a little bit of a touch, but he's got to make that move to the bottom at the same time, also be able to keep that momentum on the bottom all the way around the track, which is why the high line is just a little bit better at defending.
There he goes, drops to the bottom. You see how this time he's able to roll the white line there, and look at this. That was more the line I was just talking about. It was like he was listening to me, except this is 3 days ago.
Yeah, we'll see if it works. I mean, he's getting closer and closer to being able to make that
Slide
move.
Up. If he slides up, he makes the move.
Oh, he got loose.
See how he's getting tight center. That's where it's killing him. He's getting tight center. If he could find a way to roll that line, even though there's not a line there. I mean, there is tonight. They put a yellow stripe down there, I've noticed this weekend.
Yeah, couldn't really see it in the corners because of the PJ1 they put down, but it's there now. We'll see as he's going to go for a little bit of a side draft, which is very prominent with these new cars.
We clipped the apron there a little bit. Somebody's blew a motor. Somebody's grenaded. He clipped the apron there.
Yeah, and he got super loose, which might give Landon the advantage.
Meanwhile, up here in, like I said, Dollywood, here's Wilson leading by 11 seconds. He's like, is this thing over yet?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, that battle's happening right in front of him, within 4 seconds of him. So, I mean, he's getting a race win and a good seat to one of the best battles on the racetrack right now.
Ira's giving him all types of fits here. His Landon's like, dude, just go away, please.
Yeah, he thought maybe he would have been fine with Ira getting loose, but nope. Ira was able to close that gap back up, which shows how much faster Ira is. He just hasn't been able to get the run to do it. A little contact with the wall there in the 75. As they just took 3 to go, and Justin will take 2 to go right behind him.
It's got to be interesting. I'm waiting to see him pop up on the screen over here to the right. Oh, here goes Ira trying to move, running the bottom. Did exactly. He's going to get a little loose off. You got to be careful there.
Yeah, Landon got that run. I think that time by Landon would have got it.
He's clear. He's clear. He's not clear now.
Oh,
don't hesitate.
And there was contact. We'll see. And then there was the bonus point that was lost right there. Landon had no accident points to that point, which would have been a bonus point, which he lost. Wilson wins the race.
Yep.
But Landon might not care about that bonus point since he doesn't have it anymore. Let's see what he does in turn 3.
Oh, he Larsons it.
Is he going to get there, though? Not quite.
Oh, wow. Good finish in the end. But, yep, Justin Wilson's second win of this season for the Wilder Graphix Cup Series. But what a great battle for second there. I mean, it was like that one bit of hesitation. I think if Ira just goes ahead and slides it up there, he makes the move. But still a great race in the end. Congratulations to Justin here, and Ira and those guys. They'll get their photos while Barney Fife Jr. up there in the flag stand continues to earn his carpal tunnel. And great race that was.
Yeah, I mean, excellent finish and quite the showing for both Wilson and all 3 of these guys, honestly. And 2 in a row for Justin Wilson. 2 weeks in a row with a win.
Absolutely. And let's take a look at the finishing order for the race tonight. It was Wilson winning. Cole Haas, Quisenberry, Aaron Hearn, and Dale Lee are top 5. Cade Ferguson, Adam Brady, Cameron Hearn, Keith Bouchard, and Chase Berry going to finish in the 10th position. And I think we're getting an Alrighty then. And I just saw you get glued behind the scenes. Yeah, I guess there's a part of me saying with you being under the age of 18 right now, this could be child abuse.
Yeah, I think the quote I said is this what it's like getting mugged in Cars? Like if I was in the Cars movie?
And here comes Aaron.
I think he's got some backup.
Oh, wait a minute here. This is turning into a wrestling match all of a sudden here.
Yeah, I feel bad. I'm getting jumped. My own teammates not even helping me.
He's over there having a little... Oh, here he comes. Yeah, I went to Bristol and a demo derby broke out. But either way, great race tonight, man. Final thoughts, man. That was, let's actually, first off, let's see if we were going to get some drivers in here to talk to us. Let's see if they did.
See if we can get one more, maybe a final call.
Roll call. But hopefully while we do this, we're going to try to talk to some drivers in the series that ran the race or finished up top. I don't see anybody in chat here, so I know one of the drivers is hosting a party that I was not invited to, apparently. Landon's going to check on his peoples to see if we can get them on there. But what a great race it was tonight. As you went caution-free in that last little run, only had about, what was it, 2 cautions, I think? Or 3 when you count the competition cautions. But a fantastic race tonight. And as a matter of fact, I can pull up. Actually, no, the points are not updated, it looks like, yet from the Cup Series. So...
I think they were waiting for broadcast to go up for both that and Victory Lane.
Ah, yeesh. So, nah. I guess they're waiting on me then. But, no, great race tonight, man. Final thoughts. That was wild, and that's going to leave a mark. But you did a great job, obviously, finishing up in the top 3 tonight. And, you know, you and Ira put on a pretty good battle there. But your thoughts of the next gen at Bristol?
I mean, fun. The fighter jets in a gymnasium, I mean, pretty much captivates anything at Bristol. So Just a lot of fun. They stuck pretty good and, got loose on exit. So that was a challenge. Obviously, wish probably could have contended with Justin more, but I mean, put a side-by-side battle on for about 20 laps with Ira. So just the great racing with this league, and, can't thank Anthony and them enough for letting me come up in the booth and everyone that helps run this league. And good to get another top 3. Kind of hurts to know that if I wouldn't have had that issue at Darlington on lap 1, I could have kept up a streak of top 5s in every race in the series, but just wasn't the case. and I can't beat myself up on that either, because that was the first time I've ever run Darlington, and it was in the next-gen cars. So, but yeah, good run overall.
No, it was a great run. Great racing there. Had a lot of fun watching that, but we'll give it another second here and see if any of the guys pop in here. But either way, it was a great race, and I do appreciate Anthony for allowing us to broadcast this race tonight and be able to put it on in front of the few viewers we had tonight. But it's something that we plan to do every Saturday night. Following my other broadcast, we'll come in here and we'll call the race. And for those who race in it, if you guys ever want to come join us, or if you want to have some fun with it, there's so many creative things we can do when it's a pre-recorded race. So it'd be definitely a lot of fun to do. So, but Landon, man, great job, debut up here, and had fun. And I think here in the near future, I might let you just go ahead and take the reins for some times during the race and let you get to practice, because as I've told you before, and I can tell you're putting the effort into it, and the sky's the limit, man, especially at somebody your age.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do it more this season and in the future.
Absolutely. Vegas next week, so we'll gamble on that one, and hopefully we will be here next Saturday night, and, of course, that race will be ran Wednesday night, and we'll go from there. So, all right, brother. Well, appreciate you joining us, man, and we'll talk to each other on Tuesday as we hit Vegas in the Xfinity car.
Yes, sir. Hopefully be talking to me in Victory Lane, but, yeah.
Get the old championship belt in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, make up for the Xfinity title that I choked away last season, maybe. But
you got a cup championship easy now. But
yeah.
Now, Landon Quisenberry, great job here tonight in the booth. But appreciate Anthony and everybody from, of course, Wilder Graphix and the Cup Series for being a part of this with the Lightspeed Racing League. Big shout out to all the sponsors, of course, Wilder Graphix, Butt Kicker, Grid Finder. Of course, you can look for a league like this league here. Lightspeed Racing League there on Grid Finder if you're looking for somewhere to be a part of. Sim Speed Shops, and, of course, Track Time Entertainment for sponsoring the league. So with that said, thank you to iRacing for allowing us to broadcast on this platform, and we will go from there. So as I like to say, remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing.
It's iRacing.
You got it. You got it already. See ya.
I've got